Winter time is a slow time for projects around these parts, but I've got this X164 Mercedes GL450. This actually used to be still is my parents' vehicle. However, they have just replaced it with an X166, I think, GL450. Just because this one is a 2009, and they are people that want a new vehicle once in a while, apparently. So, why is it here? Well, if you probably noticed, there's an air strut on the ground in front of me. That's primarily why. This thing had the right front and both rear air struts replaced at a dealership last year, but they didn't do the left front, and that one is starting to leak now. So, excuse me. That's what I'm going to be doing today. It's actually a pretty straightforward job, looks like. It's just a standard 13 mils on the top for the top mount, right there. There's also that little white cap thing is an airline fitting, which we just have to undo. And then there's a little collet in there. I don't even think there's an O-ring. And then the bottom side is just a through bolt on the bottom, and then a sway bar end link, both of which you can see there. In addition to that, you do have to split the upper wishbone out of the knuckle, but really that doesn't look like too big of a deal. It's actually a really, really well-designed system. And I gotta say, that part was only like $126, strut and air spring together. So anytime somebody says, oh, I don't want to buy one of these because air suspension problems, this and that, just tell them to, well, just go buy it yourself, I guess, because it's actually a really well-engineered product, and it's not expensive to put right, as it turns out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to yank the nut off of the upper wishbone ball joint. I'm going to pull the, wow, why am I so bad with words today? I'm going to pull the sway bar end link nut off. I'm going to take this little plastic collar thing off that holds the ABS sensor. And then I'm going to yank that through bolt down there. I might support under here or something. Raise the vehicle up a little bit first, just because I'm guessing this whole thing's just going to fall out. But either way, it doesn't look too hard, and that's the gist of it. I mean, it's just like seven things total on the actual strut, and then 2 up here. So shouldn't be too bad, but we'll find out. Super duper easy so far. Okay, 21 mil on the upper wishbone. That came out on its own, didn't have to smack it. 21 mil nut with a T45 Torx on the sway bar end link. And then the bottom's 24 all the way through. The collar, the middle there, it's a zip tie. Just cut that, and you actually tilt the whole assembly off that way. Pull it off to the side. The one on the knuckle you can leave. Right now I've got the lower bolt unthreaded but in, and up here, oh, jeez. Up here, I've taken my 10 mil and I've loosened that off. Pretty easy to unthread, I'm guessing it's brass. I'm gonna void the pressure, and take the airline off, and I'm gonna drop all 3 13s out the top, and then I'm gonna be a little bit careful because this is gonna just drop out. So I'm a little bit worried about that, but there's really nothing else I can do. Once I get it up in the air, I'll be able to use the trans jack underneath here. Or I guess I could like slide that broken transmission underneath and do it at this level. Maybe that's how I'll handle it. Or I got a floor jack, I'm dumb, I'll use that. So while I'm undoing the 13s, I'll keep a floor jack under the knuckle, just so I don't ruin the CV axle, because if this comes down in a hurry, that's just gonna pull that whole thing apart and it's gonna make a mess. And I'm really not all about that. Oh my God, they engineered just enough room in there for you to get that out, but you've got to pull down with an unsupported control arm. Oh, I'm out of breath. And you're able to swing it over top of the CV axle, and you can get it, but holy God. I'm gonna have to see if I can compress this guy and then put the air fitting back in or something. Because, wow, getting that in without some compression, that's pretty much our minimum distance. I would ideally like it even shorter than that to install, so wow. Whew. So here's our old collet, an O-ring. And this actually came with a new collet and O-ring, but the only part I'm going to reuse out of the new stuff is the O-ring, because everything else is looking really, really good here still. And that's the only sealing component. Yeah, so I'm just gonna replace that little Viton O-ring with the probably actually inferior rubber one here. But either way, just gonna grab my hook pick and transfer it over since it is new and it is here. Done. Time to put the wheel on and reinflate.